Hello, South Pacific Alliance family. After all the excitement of winter camp and Easter, I hope that you are finding time to rest and be rejuvenated by time with just you and Jesus. It's so important to have healthy rhythms for sustainable ministry, and in fact, we just released a podcast about that last month. You should check it out. And you might remember my trip to our first annual Youth Workers Gathering in Columbus at the beginning of February. Not only was it encouraging and refreshing to interact with so many amazing youth workers, but we also saw the soft launch of our new Alliance Youth logo. Here's a sneak peek of it for you. I'm excited to see that more widespread, but let me share a word of encouragement with you. Proverbs 22:6 says this: "Train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it." This is wonderful advice for parents, but us as youth and kids workers as well. What we teach our students and littles now will be the base of what they will develop as a worldview. And I say that not to scare you, but to remind you that you are doing an incredibly important work. And we should be thoughtful about what we are focusing on and not focusing on in our discipleship process. It can be obvious to us what we are teaching when we are preparing the lessons each week, but what might be less obvious is the topics that we neglect or maybe even purposefully avoid. The lack of content on a subject often speaks just as loud to our students as topics that we sing about or make graphics for. The topics we avoid could be difficult to talk about, like sex or grief or politics or drugs or gender identity or money and generosity. Those are hard topics to talk about. But sometimes the topics that we avoid are difficult to practice, like missions engagement, evangelism, and cultural competency. These three in particular are topics that we were challenged to engage with at our Youth Workers Gathering last month. And I want to challenge you with them too, to engage with them, to understand what they mean and implement them in your group. It's much easier to pursue a holy life than to suppress our fleshly desires, so I want to encourage you to continue to pour out grace to your students and invite them into the abundant life that Jesus has promised us. When we pursue the things that God wants for us in life, the desires of the flesh, they start to fall away. So encourage your students to love Jesus radically rather than to be perfect in their own strength. These three topics of focus are a way to do just that: pursue Jesus over suppressing our desires. And over the next 3 months in our Next Gen check-ins, we'll be focusing on those three topics: missions engagement, evangelism, and cultural competency. I look forward to starting this conversation with you, and I'm so grateful for your service to the next generation of Jesus followers. We have the opportunity to help them know the love of Jesus as the bedrock on which to build their lives. So thank you for serving, even if you're just serving through prayer for our workers and students. And until next time, thanks for checking in with me.